And we are live. I think. I'm David Boles, and this is Boles.tv. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. And I tell you, you get all ready to go, and every once in a while I restart the machine because this is Windows 11, and you don't know what's going to happen. And there is some noise suppression now on my microphone to try to get rid of the background hiss. So if I drop out, or if you can't hear me, or if it sounds strange from last weekend, or last week, just let me know and I will take the noise suppression off. But in previous tests, it seemed like a little bit of noise suppression was okay, and it didn't affect too much how we sounded. So you get ready to go and restart the machine. Everything's going great. Everything's working. All the preparation is set. And then you click on your lights, and half the lights don't work. So, easy to fix. It just takes 10 minutes to restart, reestablish, and then restart, and then you go live and you're 7 minutes late. But we now have this, what I'm calling the Elgato lighting system. We have two regular LED lights, one over here that are just normal, and one back over there. And then we have our two key lights here, which are mini lights, our regular lights. Then we have a mini light here, and a mini light over there by the guitars. And as you kind of see behind me, we have a strip light, also from Elgato. Now, the strip light is supposed to be sticky, and it sticks to your wall. Well, we can't stick anything to our wall, so it's wrapped around my chess pieces, which gives it sort of an interesting glow. And you can make it change colors, you can play with it a little bit. And the great thing about the Elgato Control Center is that you just click one button and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights just turn on at the same time. Unless and until one doesn't, which is what happened today. I didn't want to do the show with one light not working. So I had to reset the light, and then the light has to join the Wi-Fi network, and it has to be found by the Wi-Fi network, and then it has to join the control center, and then it's 10 minutes. So this is a light blue. That's a green. This is all magic. That's a red, but you can't really tell it's a red. More of an orange. Here's maybe a deeper red. You can just go with a white light. Green again. So I guess depending on your mood, you can set what kind of light you want to have behind you. So that's sort of fun. The weather in New York is very odd. It's now cold snapping, I guess is the technical term. 60, 70 degrees, and today it's 25? Winds where we are 17 miles per hour. That's cold. That is not what we used to have a week ago. And people question climate change. It's a strange world in which we live, where things as we know them are not as we see them. We are also, working on connecting this live stream to our Discord server. If I can work this out and figure it out, as I understand it, which is my preemptory warning, is people could go to our Discord server, which is David Boles, all one word, click on the voice chat. I think they call it party chat. I haven't set this up yet. And then I believe they would able to hear this stream live, and they can chat back instead of having to type. So you could be on the Discord server, I say something, and then the person watching the stream is chatting, answering back in the Discord server. Now, I suppose there's room for, some sort of abuse. I don't know if you can clear people to chat, but the easy way around it is you just have to turn the chat off and then wait till they leave and then ban them or something. I don't know. But that's interesting, because then you can have kind of a conversation going back and forth in real time about things without having to have the other people type their things in chat that they want to say. So it's something I'm exploring. It's a little difficult under Windows 11 because of the audio issues, so I'm going to have to mix some things around because you can only, I think, have 2 audio sources in Streamlabs. You can have a mic source and then outside sources, and they're currently set to just our music background and then our browser, which is where we play like YouTube videos. But we can't listen to the music in the YouTube video anyway. But if we did a interview with someone, we would do it through Google Chat, which we would need that audio. I'm thinking all of this through. So I would probably have to move music into browser and then make music the Discord channel. If I'm understanding what's going on. And I probably don't. But I'll keep trying because it's interesting. I like the idea. And maybe there's a way to do video in Discord and then you bring in the video chat that way instead of having to go through, Google Meet or Zoom. Zoom we could never make work. Zoom is supposed to be this great thing. We could never make it work, even on Windows. Streaming. But I know people do. I don't know how they do it. So the big news last night, were the Academy Awards. Several unfortunate things happened. This is 2 years. They finally had hosts. They were back. So it'd be a big thing. And we didn't watch it. We watched a different movie. A movie which I will tell you about, which is very interesting. It was on Netflix. But I'll tell you about that a little bit later. But instead, you wake up to the news that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. And it wasn't a slap, it was a bitch slap. An open hand, meh, slap. But of course, the mainstream media can't call it a bitch slap, they just say slap. And you've probably seen it 1,000 times, and I'm not going to play it again. But there are a lot of things that are very disturbing about his behavior. And I understand you support Will Smith, and then the other side, you don't support Will Smith. And I certainly do not support Will Smith. I mean, if you're going to be upset, you're going to put on a temper tantrum. You don't have to do it on national television. You don't have to interrupt the show. You can quietly speak to Chris Rock later. I don't care what happened in 2016 with them. And you don't slap somebody. I mean, if you're going to go up there, punch him with a closed fist, pick him up and throw him down, put your hand on his shoulder and sternly say, please don't do that again, which would have been effective, had the same effect without all the terrible backlash. But I don't understand this whole idea that, Will Smith is defending his wife. Because Jada Pinkett Smith is very tough. And she has repeatedly embarrassed Will Smith on television and in interviews. Did you see the unfortunate and uncomfortable interview where the two of them were sitting there and interviewing and she started talking about sexuality and how things go in the bedroom, and Will Smith is sitting there getting red-faced and why are you talking about this? And here's an article I just found, 10 minutes before we went on the air today. Relive everything Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith had said about their marriage. And by God, it goes on and on and on. I mean, every gory, gross detail you want to know about a married couple, they talk about it openly. And they have been in Hollywood for 20 years, 25 years making movies. They're not simps. I mean, he's a cuck. But they're not simps. They know what's going on. They know the score. They know that people talk terrible about them, and they know people love them. That's part of what they do. So to suddenly get upset at the Academy Awards, your one night where you win, and you go up there and you bitch slap Chris Rock. I mean, go bitch slap The Rock. But Chris Rock, come on now. And I just could not help myself from thinking, what if one of the hosts of the Academy Awards had said that? And they're all female. And what if Will Smith had gone up there and bitch slapped one of them? Does that change it? Should it change it? Oh, it's okay that Will Smith can bitch slap Chris Rock, but oh no, okay, don't touch Amy Schumer. Don't touch Wanda Sykes. Don't touch any female comedian. Don't. Now he's crossed the line. Hit Chris Rock all you want, but don't touch the women. And if anybody should have gone up there and bitch slapped Chris Rock. It should have been the person who was allegedly offended. Let Jada Pinkett go up there and bitch slap him. She probably would have got a lot more support than Will Smith did, even though it's wrong and you never raise your hand or your fist to anybody in anger. And he did. And I don't care why he did it, because he did it. Now, the Academy, in the Me Too era, now we have behavior. And we know that it's aimed at sexuality, at punishing men for sexually harassing and interfering with women. And we can reserve the right to remove your Academy Award if we decide that you have improperly behaved socially. Well, what are you going to do about Will Smith? Because he did it on television. He ruined your show. You're going to let him keep his Academy Award? Or you're going to take it away? Well, of course they're going to let him keep it. And he's not going to give it back because they're all duplicitous. And the right-wing media is now going after Hollywood. And in this case, really rightly so. Because they said, how duplicitous is it of the Hollywood left that Will Smith can go on stage and bitch slap Chris Rock, and then an hour later, in front of the same audience, get applause and ovations, and oh, what a great guy he is, he should have won. He deserved his win as Best Actor. And these conservatives say, why didn't people turn away, walk out, don't applaud him, don't support the bad behavior? But they did. And it's very unfortunate. And it's a big problem. And, Will Smith is going to have to live with that terrible thing he did for the rest of his life. Will it affect his box office potential? I don't know. Should it? Does it make him a terrible person? In the guise of William Hurt and what he did to Marley Mann? Is a slap worse than a rape? I don't know. I think it's all behavior. Oh, now you see my new light is flashing behind me. It's not working, I guess. Isn't that weird? I wonder if I can just strategically turn that off. Like surgically, can I turn it off? Oh, it's not even listed anymore. It's just gone off on its own. Oh, we're going to take a break soon, but maybe it's too annoying. I'll go unplug it. I'll put on my Be Right Back screen so I don't look foolish. I'll leave the mic open, though, so you can follow along if you want to. Hang on. I'm not going anywhere. So, well, that didn't go well. I unplugged it. It stopped flashing. Then I plugged it back in, and it started flashing again. Now, that was the problem child over the weekend. That mini light did not want to... It looks something like this. But not exactly like this. This is a different brand. But like this. And I've used these... Ever since, for 4 months, I've used these, and it's been fine. First day, first show, the old Elgato's acting up. And it didn't want to connect to the network. So I had to reset it, and it all worked fine. But in the end, when we're live, it's not working. So it'll be interesting to see how Will Smith plays this. Now, if, when he won the award, he had gone up there and said, people make mistakes in their lives. And they get upset when they shouldn't, and they behave in ways that they should not. And I did the wrong thing with my friend Chris Rock, and I'm sorry. Everything would have been forgiven. But he apologized to the nominees, he apologized to the Academy, he never apologized to the person that he bitch slapped. Which shows you that he's not sorry, and he did it on purpose, and he's very happy to live with the consequences. So I hope there are some kind of consequences. There are a lot of people online saying, I'll never watch another Will Smith movie again. And I don't know why people watch Will Smith movies in the first place, because Will Smith is Will Smith. Not a lot of acting going on there. It's always the same tone, humor, attitude, facial expressions. It's not very interesting. Now, the other big news from the Academy Awards that's been totally overshadowed by this bitch-slapping incident that will live in infamy is CODA from Apple Studios winning Best Picture. Now, I have not spoken or written about CODA because there are some touchy issues. Oh, there's my big buddy Gordon. I think the answer is all right there. People who really like the Will Smith character will watch anything he's in just to see that character. And that's true. It's personality driven. The Rock, Sylvester Stallone, they all make movies. They're always the same in every single movie they are in, which is fine. But then you look at someone like Meryl Streep, or someone like Kenneth Branagh, or Daniel Day-Lewis, Christian Bale, Matthew McConaughey even. They try to be an actor. They try to play a different role and not be the same person in every single movie that they're in. Now, some of them are not as talented, like Matthew McConaughey has a certain way of speaking in his speech and a southern drawl that he can't get rid of. But the characters he plays are always different. Gordon says some people will watch a movie with Owen Wilson literally just to see if he's going to say wow in his automobile. True. And what's the Keanu Reeves thing? Whoa, I think. Will he say it in the movie? Will he not say it in the movie? And Keanu's the same way. You know, a Keanu Reeves movie is a Keanu Reeves movie. But he does play the airhead really well. And then he plays John Wick very well, and they are not similar characters. So the CODA movie, for me, as a hearing man married to a deaf woman for 33 years, is just another form of virtue signaling. And Hollywood is all about rewarding virtue signaling. And as I've written about it in bolesblogs.com, Apple Fitness Plus, which is one of my most highly rated and popular articles of recent memory, is all about how they are culturally appropriating Apple from the deaf community by having these trainers in Apple Fitness Plus say one word like hello, bye, welcome, and thinking that that's a really neat thing to do at the beginning of each of their videos. And my argument is in my article that if you're going to have these really super special talented people use one word, why not give them a whole phrase to say? Like, welcome to Apple Fitness. They could sign that, 2 or 3 or 4 signs, and then at least it's a form of inclusion instead of just one word and saying, hey, look how neat we are. And I'm sorry, but CODA is a movie from Apple Plus television, whatever it is. First movie to win Best Picture not from a major studio, from an online streaming service. And it's filled with virtue signaling. And there are some people in the deaf community who will say about Apple Fitness Plus, hey, it's better than nothing. They're saying hello. In sign language, that's something. I say it's not enough. There are some people who say, oh no, hey, there are deaf characters in CODA, and they have jobs, and they're part of society. That's really important. So go, go, go. And I say it's not enough. Do you remember when The Shape of Water won Best Picture? Shocking to me. Because I know that nobody in the Academy who voted for that movie to win saw the movie. If you saw the movie, it was beautifully designed. And it was a ridiculous story about a woman who wanted to have sex with a sea serpent. And the woman, allegedly disabled, non-communicative, could have been played by a disabled, non-communicative actress, but instead was played by this woman actress who makes her living playing disabled people, which I sort of find offensive. But there are other people who say that's what acting is. You're pretending to be someone you're not. Well, that's fine, but if there is a similarly capable actress who could play the role, and I know there are, why not let the disabled actress have the role and let the hearing actress or the non-disabled actress go have a different kind of role? It's just like The Miracle Worker, the Helen Keller stage play and movie. Why can't you have a deaf child or a deaf and blind child play the role? It would be interesting. Even though the story is not about Helen Keller, the story is about Anne Sullivan, her teacher. The Miracle Worker is not Helen Keller. The Miracle Worker is Anne Sullivan. So back to CODA. So here's why it's just too cute by half. And again, Academy voters say, oh, deaf movie, oh, Apple, okay, I'll vote for it for Best Picture. And remember, all these award shows are only about promotion. It's all about advertising. It's not about being the best. It's about selling the product. It has nothing to do with talent or capability. It's all strategery. And I learned that the hard way as a graduate student at Columbia University from Gerald Schoenfeld of the Schubert Organization. We had class with him on Friday afternoons. And he told us the Tony Awards are PR. And he said, generally speaking, the shows that are good but in the most trouble are the shows that win the awards. Now, he said usually not the major awards because those go to the blockbusters and shows that you just cannot deny them their thing. Some shows are so big they have to win everything. But he said, generally speaking, they try to spread it out, give all the shows a little something that they can put on their marquee that says Tony Award winner for audio sound, because it's a PR mechanism. And that bitch slapped me into the real world. I was virtually bitch slapped by Gerald Schoenfeld back in 1991 because I thought it was all about merit. I thought these award shows were about who was really the best, who was the most talented. And then, ever since then, I've watched all these shows and all these award ceremonies with that in the back of my mind. That this is PR, this is selling people. This is not about talent, this is not about humility, this is not about rewarding someone for the job they did. Acting-wise. Production-wise. And I thought, oh boy, okay, well that kind of ruins it for me. But that's life. That's how it goes. So CODA is this story about the successful deaf family. They have their own business. They're a part of the community. So people in the deaf community love that because the stereotype of deaf and disabled people in general is that they're lazy, they don't work, they don't want a job, they want to live off the government teat. So there are activists in the deaf community who say, oh boy, just that alone, that there's a big movie with deaf people having jobs, that right there, A+, I support 100%. And there are some people who say if there's any deaf character in any movie, good or bad, support 100%. And while I understand that, I don't think that's the best move forward. So the CODA, and this is where it's just really, really too cute. CODA, C-O-D-A, in the deaf community means children of deaf adults, C-O-D-A. And it's hearing children of deaf adults. So the parents are deaf, the kid is hearing, okay? It's an issue. Many CODA kids grow up to be interpreters because that's sort of the role privately that they are forced into in the home. Interpreting for their parents, answering the phone, ordering a pizza. At least that's the way it used to be before, the rise of the internet and TTYs and online ordering through an app. And CODA musically means an end. And it could be a short end, it could be a long end, it could be a repetitive end. So right there, the whole conceit of the movie is just gross. CODA, child of a deaf adult over here, who just happens to like music and who leaves her deaf family to go study music over here. CODA. End. End of my life over here. End of my wanting, and I'm going to be here in my new CODA life that doesn't mean this, deaf, but means this, music, CODA. Now, because there's a story of this young girl who wants to leave her deaf family and go to school and be a musician, okay? Now, deaf people love music. They like bass, they like the music. So that, again, is another hearing point of view, like, oh, too bad the deaf people can't enjoy the music, they can't support her leaving the family because she's going into a music. Oh, CODA, meow. It would have been so much better and much more effective as a story if the whole music CODA thing was taken out of it. Let it be a story about a hearing child of deaf parents who, like any kid, hearing or deaf family or no deaf family, needs to get up, break ties, and go somewhere else and have their own life. And yes, the parents are very reliant on their hearing child. But let the child go work on a boat. Let her go get a PhD in philosophy. But don't make it about music. Just so you can say the CODA over here is the CODA over here, which is what they did. Let the break be something natural and understanding and believable. And if she's talented, let her be a sculptress, an artist. But don't make the breakaway have to do with the disability. That's the most offensive part of it. Oh, she's breaking away from her deaf parents because they don't appreciate music and she's a musician, so she has the music in her because she's a hearing child and she's not like those deaf people over here. I find it offensive. But now it's Best Picture. And now nobody's going to talk about it because of the bitch slapping, which I think is pretty good. But for me, it's a defeat. It could have been such an interesting movie. And there are issues, interesting issues, where deaf parents do often rely on their hearing children to help them communicate in the world. Now, it's not as bad as it is today. And that's what some deaf advocates are saying. Look, making, the kid is at home ordering a pizza, okay, that's interesting. But now a kid in a hospital or a medical setting or a legal setting interpreting for the parents and it's a child, that doesn't really happen as much anymore because of the ADA and professional interpreters. And the parents and the institution should say, look, we're not having the child interpret for the parents. We will get a professional interpreter here. We have them on staff at the hospital. They will come in and they will interpret. So in that way, it's sort of outdated. But that's how you build resentment in the hearing community against the deaf and against their families. Oh, look. Deaf parents with a hearing kid. Oh, yeah. They had him so they'd have their own interpreter 24 hours a day. That's how some people see it. And it's just slightly unfortunate. So the whole movie to me is just, Apple, again, virtue signaling. Look at us, we're so wonderful. We have CODA, isn't it interesting? Isn't a meet cute gone bad? And now just wrapping up the Academy Awards, the only thing that I can think of with this Will Smith thing, which just bothers me, is he says he stood up for his wife. She has alopecia, and Chris Rock was making fun of her. And, I'm be like me. Stand up for the right thing. And I'm reminded of what Mickey Mantle said, the Yankee superstar, who for much of his life was a drunk and an alcoholic. And he was cruel to his family, and he was cruel to his teammates, and he would tell stories that he would hit home runs in the game, drunk. And an interviewer asked him one time, he said, Mickey, you're dying, I think, of liver cancer because of his drinking. Boy, you're just great. Kids admire you. You're a role model. And Mickey Mantle, unlike Will Smith, had the guts to say publicly, often, I'm no role model. Don't be like me. I'm a drunk. There's nothing about me that you should imitate. There's nothing about me that should interest you. As a person who has some fame and who has accomplished things, I got them done in spite of, not because of, my drinking. So find someone else to admire, but it shouldn't be me. Your friend and mine, Mickey Mantle. Now that's a real guy. That's a guy who knows himself. That's a guy who knows society. That is a guy who knows what should and should not be done. Will Will Smith, over the next day or two, have a similar sort of revelation? Don't handle things the way I did. Don't be dumb like me. Don't use your hands to solve a problem. By the way, I'm returning my Academy Award. Now that would win. But I don't think it's going to happen. And now it's time for our very first blood pressure break of the day. I'll be back in a moment. And we are back from break. I'm David Boles, and this is Boles.tv, BOLES.tv. Coming to you live so far, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Oh, this is fun. Gordon says, the magic of Twitch. Ads are never shown during blood pressure breaks. Now, there's probably, I think there's a button I can push that will make the ads run during a blood pressure break, which is probably what I should do. But if you don't like ads, not just Gordon, anybody, you can subscribe to this channel, $5 a month. If you have Prime, Amazon Prime, you get one free Twitch channel per month as part of your subscription. You subscribe, you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you say, I think they call it Prime Gaming or something. It used to be called just Amazon Prime Subscribe. But you can get it for free every month. Then every month you have to sign up, re-sign up for whatever channel you want to watch for free. So then you get rid of ads. Then you get the video on demand with the fun chat in the sidebar. Now, speaking of Gordon, I have been reminded of him over the past month or two. And an article that he wrote a while back, which was a very funny, wonderful article that I don't think he finds very funny, but that I do, or I used to. Gordon wrote an article about Golan Davidescu and how his name from some mailing company had been changed from Gordon to Golan, Golon, which still makes me giggle. And how he was irritated that he keeps getting these mailings for the wrong person that's maybe him but not him. Since I've been having my skin cancer issues that we're taking care of, every once in a while we have to do a little biopsy to see if it's cancerous or not. And a couple of times, 3 times, 4 times it comes back yes, and the other 8 times no. And the place that my doctor's office goes to get the biopsy done is Columbia University Medical Center, which seems strange to me because we're in Jersey City and they send it over to New York for the biopsy, but whatever. So every other time that I get a bill from Columbia Doctors, it's addressed to David Backs, B-A-K-S, not David Boles. And it appears to have my account number and my insurance, but I think that they are somehow double billing me from David Boles to David Backs because they think they're separate people, when it's not. And I'm trying to think when they send me these wrong message, and I can't figure out how to get them on the phone because all they do is say, here, pay your copay, which is cheap, online, and you're done with it. And I'm trying to think, hey, wait a minute now. Why isn't there not a phone number that I can call to try to straighten this out? And then I think in my mind, if there was only some way where I could forward this mail to the mysterious Golan Davidescu and let the two of them meet and work it out. David Backs and Golan Davidescu, appearing live and in person on Broadway for a limited run. The latest one they sent me, I think they have a phone number. But boy, it's been months of this going on, and they don't respond. There's Gordon. I'll have to look at the article, but I think it turned out to be the DMV reading my registration incorrectly. When the incorrectly spelled name got me a jury duty notification, that was a pain to try to explain to the people at the court. Oh, jury duty. That is a big mess. That's a problem when your name is in the system. And we had a problem with Jana where CBC and Nova said, you're applying for this housing loan, but you're dead. And we were thinking, well, if you think Jana's dead, why are you sending her an email saying you're dead? I think they had a suspicion that she was alive. So we had to go prove our identity, go prove Jana's identity to CBC and Novus. All the other credit companies said she's alive, except for CBC, and they said she's dead. So then the others said, oh, well, if they say she's dead, then she must be dead. And it's a big cascade effect. You can't ever solve it. It just keeps going around. in a circle. And speaking of Jana Marie, her friend Kathy G, who often joins Jana on her live show on the weekends, has been going crazy with old photographs. And so shall we. Here we go with some images from many, many years ago. This is the Iowa School for the Deaf, first grade. And there's the class. And there you can see, in the background, wearing red pants, is our beautiful and talented Jana Marie. And as she noticed, she said, "I'm the only girl wearing long pants. All the other girls are wearing dresses." And she looks very sad. And there's her friend Mark, right next to her. Mark is very tall and very big, right here. Still, not big, but tall. And those are friendships that start, when you're 5, 6 years old? And then you continue to know each other for the rest of your life? Those are things you really can't dismiss or get away from, although some people try. Here's Jana Marie coming out of the mouth of a giant frog at a water park. Love the alphabet in the classroom. By the way, Gordon says, I ended up showing up in person and proving to them my state ID that had been incorrectly spelled, and that person didn't actually exist. Well, I'm glad. And I'm glad they resolved it for you quickly, because they could have really hassled you. Although a first name like Golan is very bizarre. But maybe there are Golans in the world. I don't know. Here is Jana also at a water park with wet hair and smiling, as one of her friends said to her, "You look good wet." That wasn't me. Here's the beautiful Jana Marie with her beautiful mother and her very lovely sister Kathy in the kitchen. All the Sweeney girls together. And they're not strangling Mother, they are embracing her. There's Jan at a water fountain. I don't know where this is. I believe it's Omaha or Council Bluffs. There's Jana Marie with her friend Kathy on the couch. I don't know who took the picture. I don't want to say that it looks like there's a cigarette in Jana Marie's hand, but there might be. But I'm not commenting on it. Although Jana Marie did used to smoke quite a lot when she was very, very young, because she wanted to be hip and cool and probably lose weight or something. And then she stopped. Her lung collapsing might have had something to do with it, but she has never smoked ever since. And I've known her for 33 years, and she has never smoked a cigarette one time. This is a deaf gathering. I don't know where it is. Maybe somebody's house. It looks like somebody's house. And there's Jana Marie, right here, hiding but saying hello, with her dark hair and her dark sunglasses. And it looks like her red tennis shoes. Only red tennis shoes in the whole thing. Red pants, red tennis shoes. That's our Jana Marie. There she is enjoying the pool. Uh-oh! Jana Marie is here! Yes, I smoked a lot back then. I know, you tell me that, and it's like it's a different person. Like, what do you mean? You're very healthy, you're very strong, you're very beautiful. But I know for a while your mother smoked and your dad smoked, and that's the way people get into it. It's what's being seen, it's what's modeled. This is in the car wash we did. Oh, okay. I guess the other photograph of all the other people was a car wash. And this is Jana washing her hair in the pool, by the way. No, I'm just kidding. There she is at the Funplex. I thought it was Peony Park in Omaha. And I asked Jana, she said, no, it wasn't Peony Park. That had already closed. It was some other place. Well, now we can see it was the Funplex. I think that's Omaha. These are probably 20 years ago. There's a very, very, very young Jana Marie. Wearing gloves in the summer. Or maybe this is the car wash she's talking about, because it looks like the ground is wet. And maybe those are suds dripping off of her hands. I don't know. But it looks like a hot day. And a fun day. Here's Jana Marie under a waterfall. Looks like she's under a toadstool coming out of the frog's mouth. There's the Hepcat Jana Marie. 80s, Duran Duran, with the earrings and the yellow color. She really doesn't wear yellow anymore. But I guess in the 80s, lime green, yellow, that was the look. And I had it too, but yellow never looked good on me. Pink was pretty good. Yellow, not for me. Ah, that was the car wash again. Okay, cool, got it. I didn't know there was a car wash. Now I know. And there's Jana with her friend Kathy on the left and her friend Val on the right, and they are all wearing Jana Marie t-shirts. Well, Jana Marie is wearing a Dave t-shirt, and that's just plain old fun. And now they're at a restaurant, I don't know where. Jana Marie in the middle, Kathy on the right, and Val again on the left. I love that Jana Marie shirt. It's very beautiful. I was performing that night with the yellow outfit. Oh, wow. You got to tell more about that. That does look like a performance outfit. Do you perform with the sunglasses on or without the sunglasses? It's a serious question because eye expression is very important in the deaf community, but maybe if it's bright outside, you got to have the glasses on. I don't know. Jana Marie will tell us. Oh, and I love this shot. Pepsi was a big part of your life and a big part of Kathy G's life. The Pepsi twins, we called them. And I don't know if this is... See, Kathy G has a antique Pepsi machine in her house. I don't know if this is it, though. This might be it. Although I don't think so, because it looks different. But this is the Pepsi collection. Jen is very hot, but being refreshed by a big bottle of Pepsi. And never Diet Pepsi. Only full sugar Pepsi. 20 years ago. And there is Kathy G fanning herself with a Pepsi fan. Pepsi fan, right? CODA, cute, right? And they're trying to cool off inside with a refreshing Pepsi Cola. So you gotta love that. Looking back, all the photographs of Jana Marie, sweetheart. And the performing, delightful. Absolutely delightful. Now, I'm trying to think I'm going to take a next little blood pressure break, and I'm wondering if I can get an ad to play. Force the ad to play. I'm wondering where that would be. Set up once, I think. But then the move to Windows 11 brings everything back to 0. Huh. Oh, is there a button I can push that says 60-second ad, but it's crossed out. It says I can't hit it. Weird, right? Okay. I'll have to look at that too. But if you don't like ads, hey, that's what the subscribe button is for. And now we're going to be back very briefly, and then we're going to talk about this Netflix movie we watched over the weekend, which is really super duper interesting, and much more interesting than anything that happened last night at the Academy Awards. Back in a moment. And we are back from break. I'm David Boles, and this is Boles.tv. BOLES.tv. You can subscribe by clicking on the subscribe button, or you can use your Amazon Prime and subscribe for free every month right here on Boles.tv. Now, if you want video on demand without the chat, but with closed captions, you can go to boles.live, L-I-V-E, and that is our YouTube channel. Boles Blues is the username. And you can watch everything there for free. But you don't get the fun chat. I don't know if they put ads on there or not. If they do, we don't get any part of it. So if there are ads, it all goes into YouTube's pockets. So we've been talking about some movies, and we've been talking about interesting things that have been going on in the world. And over the weekend, there was a new movie that popped up on our Netflix. And it's called Black Crab. And it's a Swedish movie, released this year. Original title is Svartkrabba. And what I love the most about this movie is, first of all, that it was all done in Swedish with open captions in English. So you can get the voice, the intention, all of that from the actor. They didn't put these horrible American voices translating over what was being spoken by the actors. It's especially poignant now going with what's going on in Ukraine. And I'm sure that's why it's up there, because we know Hollywood, mainstream, they like to be woke, politically correct, give Shape of Water Best Academy Award for Best Picture, give CODA Academy Award for Best Picture, because we think it means something. So Black Crab, and here's some photos. I can't play the trailer because I'll get in trouble. But we can look at images. Is the story, and some of the criticism that we'll see from the watchers of the movie is there is no story. But I'm saying it doesn't matter. Here, I'm going to show it to you right now because I'll talk about it, because this is the top-rated criticism of the movie on IMDb. The movie cinematography and VFX were top-notch. The environments they were in, the action scenes, etc. This could have been great, but the writers totally screwed this one up. So many plot holes, so many unanswered questions, and characters that were hard to connect with because you had no idea who they really were. Okay. That's why those sorts of people don't review movies, because they don't know what they're talking about. I'm going to explain why. In this movie, it is apocalyptic. We know something terrible has happened because it appears that the war is worldwide. And I'm saying to you as a dramatist and as a script doctor, the why doesn't matter. All that matters is you're in the scene and something's going on. And like the other characters who really don't seem to have an exact idea of what's going on either, we try to find our way through it together. We don't need backstory. We don't need to know the names of countries. All we need to know is the current situation we're in and to solve it. You are in the scene. You are of the moment. It does not matter what has happened or what the proper nouns are. So it's this story of something that has happened in a cold weather climate where two sides are at war. And the side, I guess, that's losing wants to go blow up the other side, win the war, and make the world safe for, we assume, something like democracy. But that's never clear and never spelled out until we get into the movie. And so there's a lot of shooting, and the most interesting thing about this whole movie is that the actors, and there are like 8 of them, who are selected, they are drafted into this kind of military, and they're told they have to ice skate 100 kilometers across an archipelago from Sweden to this other place and plant this bomb that is going to blow up the other side and win the war, and then we can all be free and be reunited as families. So the movie opens, and I'm just going to talk about it. If you don't want to know what this is or watch it later, go ahead. Turn me off. I'm revealing plot secrets. So this woman and her daughter in their car in a tunnel. And there are military people, we don't know who they are, going around shooting everybody in cars. Which is very alarming because if you have seen the video, let's see if I can find that video. Okay, this is the video. No sound. This is the video I'm talking about. This is... So, in the Black Crab movie, we're in this tunnel, and these soldiers are going around shooting all the people who are stuck in this tunnel in cars. And the mother tries to calm her daughter, and then the troops take the daughter and shoot the mother, beat up the mother, but she survives. And this is the story of this mother's hopeful reunification with her, who she believes is a kidnapped daughter. But then that just came out. So it's this invasion of these people who are innocent. There are hallmarks and echoes of what's going on in Ukraine in this Black Crab movie, which is fascinating because the Black Crab movie was made before the Ukraine thing even started, probably a year or two ago, but it was released this year. So here is a video I'm going to show you of an elderly couple in Ukraine trying to leave the city in their red car, their red sedan, a civilian vehicle. And you're going to see a Russian tank turn the corner right up there at that intersection and blow them up. They shoot at a civilian car, killing the two elderly people instantly. Now, nobody wants to talk about this, except for the fact that it happened. It's in real life. We don't know the backstory of it all. We just know that two people lost their lives for a ridiculous, meaningless reason, as echoed in Black Crab. So here's the video. Don't watch if you get upset by this kind of thing, but this is the reality of war. This is what you see. They've been shot at right now, but that's not the shot that killed them. That is the shot that killed them. And you just watch it and think, and they shot him twice, as you can see. That's the definition of a coward. Where you're shooting at sedans, there are no guns out, no missiles. The Russians turn the corner and fire twice and kill an elderly couple in Ukraine. And for what? To terrorize them. That's the whole point of it. They can't kill the other troops, so they'll kill the elderly and children and bomb maternity wards. Watch it one more time because it's that incredible. There's the car. There's the tank. They missed. They fired. They missed. So they're going to take another shot. Dead on, strike. Dead. And then they take a second shot and blow them up a second time, just to make sure they're absolutely completely dead. So if you've seen that, which was out last week, and you saw some of it on the major networks, which was surprising because it's the murder of two people live on television. So you see that, and then you go back, and you're with your beautiful wife watching Black Crab, and you're seeing people get shot in the same way in a tunnel somewhere. So it's this story of this mother who is told that she is the best ice skater of all the people in the group, and that when she gets across to the other side, she will be reunited with her daughter that was kidnapped. And this is the driving force behind her. Nobody else on this mission has the same reason for success in the mission, because if she fails the mission, the world is lost. She's not going to make it to the other side. Nobody is, and the other side will win. So her reward for getting to the other side and delivering these bombs is being reunited with her daughter. And everyone else in her group is saying, why is this so important to you? Well, she doesn't ever tell them. So it's on Netflix. And this is, I guess her name is Noomi Rapace? Wonderful actress, did a great job. All the acting in this is just wonderful. And here's the amazing part about the movie is these actors are actually ice skating with guns and backpacks across vast surfaces of ice. And there's no way that can be CGI because it would be too expensive for this kind of movie. So they're actually out there on this black ice skating. And how they get these tremendous shots from the sky down on these vast amounts of ice is just crazy. But that's the Swedish culture. It's not foreign to them. For us watching, say, how can these people ice skate like that with bombs on their backs and guns? And you just watch it, and it's beautifully shot. A horrifying story. As they try to make their way across the ice, and the enemy sees them, and the enemy shoots at them, and the enemy bombs them. This is the guy who sends the mother on her way and gives a photograph of the daughter and this dystopian utopia. This is the guy who's sort of her friend, but also nemesis, who is on the trip with her. And she's standing up and she's fighting, and they actually then get to the other side. She gets to the other side after a lot of killing, and everybody else on her team dies. And when they're almost there, one of the people on the team actually opens up the bomb and discovers, hey, wait a minute, this isn't C4. This is a biological weapon. And we have two of them. So they're going to plant that biological weapon, blow up the bad guys, and poison the rest of the world. So no matter what happens, everybody loses. If we don't deliver this, we lose the war. If we do deliver this, everybody dies on both sides. And that's how we're defining our win. And so, well, my music just stopped. So everybody is saying, hey, wait a minute, stop. You know, let's just put an end to this. We don't have to keep going. And she, of course, who wants to see her daughter, shoots people and takes the biological weapons and goes. Delivers them. So she makes it to the other side. She is victorious. And there she is taking aim at that guy who was sort of her best friend and protector and also sort of enemy because she's that close to the end. And he's saying, look, you can't deliver the biological weapons. Don't you understand? We're all going to die. And she doesn't care because she wants to see her daughter. So she delivers. Code name for this operation is Black Crab. And there they are ice skating. It's the most beautiful thing. And I guess everyone in Sweden knows how to ice skate because they all ice skated. I don't know if they put out a special casting call for ice skaters or not. And here are people who were frozen in the ice, who were trying to escape the terror, just like Ukraine, and were gunned down, killed, and then the ice took them over and froze them in time. There's so many parallels to what's going on in Ukraine. It's just crazy. And here they are on the ice. I mean, you can't fake that. They're out on the ice somehow, somewhere with cameras and catering and trucks. I don't know how they did it. Now this looks like this is an in-between shot, like between breaks, because they did not have folding chairs in the movie. And they're smiling. They don't smile in the movie because it's all about death. Black Crab. Oh, there's another shot of people dead and frozen in the ice. It's fabulous. And And that's her. She's shining her light to see these dead people in the ice, trapped in the ice. And that's a mistake because she has her light on, and then the enemy helicopters come in and start shooting her and all of her friends. And then, of course, in the end, she gets there, she delivers the bioweapon, and she said, "I've done everything you asked me to do." I'm giving it a 10 out of 10, because currently they have 6 out of 10. It deserves all the way. And she said, "Okay, I did everything you asked me to do. Now, where's my daughter?" And then, of course, they say, "Well, there is no daughter. We don't know where she is." And then the rage takes over, and she's furious. And then she happens to be shot, and they're trying to evacuate because they're going to blow up the thing with the chemical weapons. And everyone's evacuating, and she doesn't want to evacuate because she knows she's dying. And somehow she was able to get the biological weapons. I guess she had them hidden in her coat. She had opened the thing and taken out the vials and put them in her pocket and then gave them the bomb, I guess. So in the end, she has her biological weapons in one hand and a grenade in the other, puts them together, and then everyone leaves the island, and she jumps off the edge and blows herself up, kills herself, blowing up the biological weapons, blowing up the grenade. So I guess in the end, everybody dies anyway. Which is sort of a sad foreshadowing of what we hope doesn't happen in Ukraine, where some of these nutty people in Russia think that they can win a war with biological weapons and nuclear weapons. That's not going to happen. There's going to be no winner. It's going to be a terrible thing. Now, speaking of punishments, there's a thing that has been going on for months, and I think even like a year, in New York City. And it happened again this morning. Where kids, but police seem to think it's one guy, get on a subway train, and I guess for kicks, they pull the brake, which anyone is allowed to do on a subway train, which right there is a problem, because people are insane, and they cannot be trusted. And what these people do, or person does, is they get a thrill out of pulling the brake, which then stops the train, stops all of the action that's going on behind with other trains. The train is dead in the tunnel. It has to come out, be restarted, the brake has to be reset. It takes 2 or 3 hours to reset a train that has had its emergency brake pulled by a passenger. And nobody sees who's doing this. They don't have video. They don't know what's happening. All they know is that it's happening almost once a day, at least for a period of time it was happening once a day, on various different trains. But they still think it's one person who's doing it. And this morning it happened again. Someone pulled the emergency brake on the M train at West 4th, near Greenwich Village in New York City. And that blocked all the trains coming and going on that line, uptown, downtown. And trains have to be rerouted and restarted. And it's a tremendous hassle. And you just wonder, how do you deal with a society where that sort of behavior is maybe not valued, but in some ways tolerated? Is there no way to fix that sort of domestic terrorism, where somebody can go in there and delay a person's life by an hour or two? Because when you're on a train that had an emergency brake pulled, you can't get off the train. They really want you to stay on the train. They'll come and fix the train, and then you move on. But some people want to get off the train. But if you don't have anyone on the train who will let you off the train, it's sometimes hard to find a way out. Because especially if you're in a tunnel, you don't know where to go. They just say, look, it's not a fire. It's just an emergency brake pull. Just stay where you are. Stay safe. And we'll deal with it. And sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. But should anybody on a train be allowed to pull an emergency brake? That's what it comes down to. And then you think, well, if they pull it, then it should dye their fingers. Well, these trains are packed. So someone pulls that, they get their fingers blue or whatever, and they wipe it on somebody, or they pull it down and it splatters on other people. You have lawsuits. Oh, I'm allergic to blue paint. But there has to be some way of solving this, retrofitting these cars, where an emergency brake thing sends a signal to the engineer, and the engineer can see if it's really an issue or if it's just someone messing around. I don't know if it's video cameras. I don't know if there are other electronic sensors, but it's too much power in the hand of one irresponsible, nasty person to bring an entire subway system to its knees for at least an hour by pulling an emergency brake when there's no emergency. And on that note, hey, blood pressure break time. Back in a minute. And we are back from break. I'm David Boles. This is Boles.tv. So many things I want to get to today and tomorrow and the next day, and I will and I shall. And sometimes we get a little derailed on our rants and raves about what's going on in the world around us, but that's okay. That's why we're here, to share with you our thoughts and ideas about what it means to live the human condition. Our friend Gordon says, fingerprint emergency brake. It breaks, but your fingerprint's transmitted, and it was a no-good breaking. That person gets a visit from the people in the blue. Yeah, I love that. It's got to be something, Gordon. As you know, Janet Marie Sweetheart was a little late for work today because someone pulled that freaking brake thing at West 4. And I don't know, has there ever been a case where somebody pulled a brake and it was a real emergency? Why would people pull a brake? I mean, I can't, unless there was a fire, maybe. Or you ran over something, or someone was hanging off, then you'd pull the brake. And if someone's yelling or screaming or wielding a gun or a knife, you would not pull the brake because you want the train to get to the next station so you can get the heck out. Even if there was a fire, why would you pull the brake? The brake stops the train immediately. And then you're going to be stuck in a tunnel with a fire. I don't understand the whole idea of why there's even an emergency brake there to be pulled. And I've lived in the area for 33 years, and I have no idea what's going on. But we do love Elon Musk. And he is a temperamental genius, and we know that, and we accept that about him. And sometimes he says very strange things. And recently he said that Twitter undermines democracy, which I think most of us find curious because it's Twitter that's keeping democracy alive in many parts of the world. He wants a whole new platform. Well, I guess he can go join Donald Trump on Truth Social, which I guess is flopping from what I hear because Donald Trump himself hasn't really even tweeted on his own. That was just a big money grab to raise a lot of money for Donald Trump so he can have extra money. And the Trump followers don't like it because they're all there on the same team and they want to go punch people in the face. And no liberal or woke person is going to go join Truth Social because it's Donald Trump's social media platform. So what do? They turn around and come back to Twitter where they can beat people up. It's the most ridiculous, sick thing I've ever found. On Friday, Elon Musk said that Twitter undermines democracy with its restrictions on user posts and suggested that a new platform might be needed. Now, what are the restrictions? The restrictions are not allowing lies, not allowing support of insurrection, not allowing people to lie about science like the COVID-19 vaccine. The Tesla founder joined the debate on censorship on major social media platforms, first posting a Twitter poll centered on the question, free speech is essential to a functioning democracy. Do you believe Twitter rigorously adheres to this principle? Roughly 70% of Musk's 79 million followers soon weighed in with a resounding no. And Elon says given that Twitter is a de facto public town square, failing to adhere to free speech principles fundamentally undermines democracy. That doesn't mean that anybody can say anything they want. You can't make death threats. You can't tell outright lies that hurt the human condition and hurt society. That's all Twitter's doing. I don't know why he's in favor of promoting lies. It doesn't make any sense to me. Now, here's news that also broke on Friday, and I have an interesting story to tell you about this. Biden administration plans to offer second booster shots to those 50 and up. And to that I say, yeah, because it has been limited to 65 and over. The CDC recommendation. Now that's where it gets very tricky and very interesting. Now, because of my history with my skin cancer and my blood pressure medication and all that, my doctor likes me to get these boosters. And I say, I will take a shot every week of any kind of thing as long as it's a vaccine. I'm very happy to be over-vaxxed than under-vaxxed. And my lovely wife, Janet Marie, feels basically the same way. And because she's had lung problems in the past, Uh-oh. That's a bot, Gordon. I didn't have anything to do with that. I don't know what you said, but you can tell me later, and I'll find out if I should clear that for you. I think when our friend Dora was here, and she's on vacation right now, I think she said boobs, and it blocked her. I referred to the... now that's interesting. I can say it, but chat can't say it. I will check that out. I'll write myself a note. The B slap. And I understand why, because you don't want people coming in chat calling each other the B word. Okay. And because of her lung conditions in the past, and because we're old, we want to get the shot. And we want to get the second booster shot. Gordon was saying freedom of speech doesn't equal freedom from consequences. And the example is that if you talk ugly about Will Smith's wife, he will slap you in front of millions. There you go. That's very interesting. And Chris Rock was just very obviously making a joke. And G.I. Jane is not some kind of ridiculous, feeble character. Okay, she has a shaved head. G.I. Jane 1 was played by, what was her name? Bruce Willis. Demi Moore. Great movie. She was excellent in that. And the problem is now with the Academy Awards, how are they going to beat that next year? I mean, the bitch slap is now the lowest common denominator. I mean, it's going to have to be the full hand fist, the body slam, turn the Academy Awards into the WWE. Because they have to top next year what happened this year. So we want to get we got our booster as soon as we could get our booster, and that was last August. So August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. We're almost like 6-7 months since we got our booster. And we know these boosters only last maybe 3 months because of the way that they're built. So we're dying to get a booster shot. But we technically can't get one because we're not over the age of 65. Even though our doctor said, go ahead, get one. And most places, when you go in and you say, hey, I'd like my booster, they say, okay, well, you already had a booster. I know, but this is the second booster. Oh, okay. And your doctor says, okay, yes, fine, go. And so we go to our regular place on Friday. On Friday, this is all Friday. And this is supposed to be approved this week for your second booster, if you're over the age of 50. Which unfortunately, or fortunately, we are. Okay, so it's a matter of 3 or 4 days. And we go to our friends at Walgreens. They say, okay, yeah, second booster. I said, so with the second booster, should it be Moderna, which some people are mixing and matching, or should it be Pfizer, which is what we've had all along, 3 shots of Pfizer? I kind of think it would be fun to mix in a Moderna in there. And our pharmacist said, well, some people mix and match. He said, but if it's me, I would just stick with Pfizer. Just do the whole thing Pfizer. I respect her a lot, so I thought, okay, well, let's go. Sign us up. And she said, well, it's different now. I said, oh, no. What happened? And she said, well, we're just not doing walk-in shots anymore. You have to go and you have to make an appointment. Ugh. And it's Dwayne Reed, so you have to go to walgreens.com and sign up, or you can call them, and then they manage that on how many shots they deliver because they have to unfreeze them and send them to the local pharmacy. And we said, okay, but we were all ready to get our shot on Friday, so we'd have Saturday and Sunday to recover. So we're thinking, because we have other things coming up the next 2 weeks that we want to make sure that we're protected. So I thought, okay, maybe we'll go to that little pharmacy down the street that's a hole in the wall where we got our COVID test. When some of Jana's students were infected, we had to, in order for her to get back to work, she had to have a COVID test. So we both took one. So we left Dwayne Reed and went over to the small pharmacy. And we talked to the people, showed them our cards, give them our ID. You have to fill out all this paperwork. I understand the risks. And then we're waiting and waiting. And then you can overhear a conversation in the back. And the back is a little area in the corner with curtains around it. So it's not like it's a room. And we can hear this conversation. The pharmacist saying, well, they're not getting a second shot. It's not approved. So the guy comes out and says, well, you already had your booster and you're not over the age of 65. And I, am having a conversation with this person saying, I understand that, but our doctor said it's okay. And this isn't a law. It's not a regular. And the pharmacist comes up from the back. I'll take over this conversation. So I'm standing there. He's maskless. I'm wearing a mask. So is my favorite Jan Marie. And he says, the CDC recommendation is 65 and over, and you're not over 65. I said, I know, but the Biden administration, over 50, this week, approved, New York Times, Friday. You're going to make us wait 4 days? The CDC, I said, the CDC is a recommendation. It's a guideline. It's not a law. It's not a rule. Our doctor said it was fine to get a booster. Recommended it because of my heart condition, because of her lung condition. Well, we maybe will call your doctor. I said, it's Friday afternoon. The doctor's not there. And by the way, we don't have to have permission from our doctor to get a booster, and you don't need permission from the doctor to get the booster. And finally, Janet just said, look, this is not going to happen. Let's just go. And I said, okay. So I said, thank you when we left. And then on my way out, I said, this wasn't a problem over at Walgreens. They were going to give us the shot, but they don't have any right now. But it wasn't a problem for them. Why was it a problem here? And he said, well, if you want to go to a chain pharmacy and they'll give you a shot just because you want one, then go ahead. And I thought, wow, so this is not really about a shot. This is about authority and control. And maybe he didn't like the way we look. I'm not saying that, but I don't think that white privilege plays a part there at all. By the look and feel of how we were treated. And I wasn't asking for white privilege. I just want to get my shot. But he obviously had some other agenda that was going on. And he thought that he was doing his duty to protect us for 4 days from getting our second booster. And it's not like I didn't do my research. I knew exactly what was going on and what was happening, and we wanted to get in front of the curve. And he wouldn't let me. So we came back, and I thought, okay, we could try to go online, Walgreens, fill that out, but let's just wait the 3 or 4 days until it's officially approved. Because it says, strongly recommends that people over 50 get the second shot. Federal health officials have hotly debated the way forward, with some strongly in favor of a second booster now and others skeptical. But they have apparently coalesced around a plan to give everyone age 50 and up the option of an additional shot in case infections surge again before the fall. In the fall, officials say Americans of all ages, including anyone who gets a booster this spring, should get another shot. So another shot is coming. But we have been without our booster since August, which is a long time. So we'll wait a few days, wait till it's officially a CDC recommended guideline, which means absolutely nothing. And then we'll sign up, and we'll get our booster, and we hope to live happily ever after. Now, one more thing I want to share with you before we say goodbye for the day is this whole thing about crypto and NFTs and its effect on your taxes. The whole idea of crypto is this decentralized. Well, the government doesn't like that. They want it centralized. They want to control you. They want to know exactly how things are going to work out or not work out. And if you sold or bought crypto last year, here is this thing on your tax form, circled in red. At any time during 2021, did you receive, sell, exchange, or otherwise dispose of any financial interest in any virtual currency? Yes, you like me. No, you don't. And be careful how you answer that, because if you say yes, then you got to fill out a whole bunch of forms about what you bought, when you bought it, how much you made, how much you didn't make, And if you say no, even though you did, a lot of these companies now automatically, by law, must report your crypto activity to the authorities. So if you answer no, then you're going to be in bigger trouble, because they're going to come back at you and say, "Pop, pop, 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 pop. You didn't report any of this, penalties plus interest." What are you going to do? Well, there are some places you can go, like cointracker.io, I believe is the address. That's one service where you can connect all of your wallets into one place. And under a certain amount, it's free. And then if you go over a certain amount of transactions, then they want to charge you $9 a month. If you're a big crypto person with a lot of things going on and you want a lot of help with your taxes, they charge you $99 a month. But it looks to be a solution of that nature, to be very helpful. And then what they do is they give you a printout or a spreadsheet, whatever you want, that you can download. And then it didn't work very well, as I understand it, for 2021, from what people are telling me. But next year will be better, because this is the first year of reporting. You download all your transactions, and then you either send that to your CPA, or like TurboTax and some of these other places, when they say, do you have anything to share with crypto, then you can upload, theoretically, this spreadsheet that will then populate what you sold, what you lost, what you sold, what you lost, what you owe. And if you made a lot of money, then you pay capital gains tax. And I believe it's something, if you over $40,000 you made as an individual, report the capital gains. But if you're a couple, it's over $80,000. So for most people doing crypto, it's not going to be anything probably that you're going to have to pay a lot of tax on. But each of those individual transactions are taxed, not at the time, but later. Gordon says this crypto helping company seems to be the digital equivalent of the folks selling gold equipment to gold miners who made more money selling equipment than the gold searchers made. Very, very true. But it does help, because people are complaining now that these companies like Coinify and Coinbase and MetaMask are sending them notifications, hey, you made money and we're reporting it to the IRS, but they're not currently giving people a way to download their information easily. Now they can see all the transactions in their account, and what people are doing is they have to go into TurboTax and enter each of those transactions in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. One person said he had to do it 900 times. And TurboTax is not built for doing it by hand. He said he had to restart. It crashed on him 3 times. He had to restart his taxes from scratch 3 times because it would stop accepting all of his cryptocurrency exchanges, which is ridiculous. And here's the official note from the IRS, in case you're wondering. Oh, hey, here's a reminder, hey, from the IRS. You have to check a box, this box, on Form 1040, 1040 SR, 1040 NR on virtual currency transactions for 2021. When taxpayers can check no, taxpayers who merely owned virtual currency. So that's if you buy and hold, you're okay. You don't have to do anything. At any time in 2021 can check the no box when they have not engaged in any transactions involving virtual currency during the year. Or if their activities were limited to holding virtual currency in your own wallet, transferring virtual currency between your own wallets or accounts, purchasing virtual currency using real currency, including purchases using real currency, electronic platforms such as PayPal and Venmo. Cash.app also has a wonderful, wonderful way to buy Bitcoin and translate it into USD and deposit it into your bank account. They do that really well. I'm very surprised. Engaging in a combination of holding, transferring, or purchasing virtual currency as described above. However, if you said yes, here are the reasons you would say yes. The receipt of virtual currency as payment for goods or services. The receipt or transfer of virtual currency for free without providing any consideration that does not qualify as a bona fide free gift. Geez. The recipient of new virtual currency as a result of mining and staking activities. Oh boy, they're going after you right at the bones. The recipient of virtual currency as a result of a hard fork, which happened with Bitcoin a while back, happening now with Ethereum from Ethereum 1 to Ethereum 2. An exchange of virtual currency for property, goods, or services. The mayor of New York is now paid in Bitcoin as his salary. An exchange trade of virtual currency for another virtual currency. So some people have Bitcoin and you cannot buy an NFT with Bitcoin. You have to use Ethereum. So you have to do a swap, is what they called it. I want to make this many Bitcoins into this many Ethereum. That's taxed. A sale of virtual currency. Give me $25, I'll send you $25 of Ethereum. That's what that means. Any other disposition of a financial interest in a virtual currency. So there you go. You think you're decentralized. No one's going to find you. Oh, they're going to find you. Plus, now if you're an independent contractor or if you are a freelance worker, any transaction you are paid over $600 gets reported to the IRS automatically. And it's not you reporting, it's your bank that's reporting it on you. It used to be $20,000 and or 200 transactions. And it had to be and. It wasn't and or. It was $20,000 and 200 transactions. So some people made $20,000 in one transaction and didn't have to report it. Well, the IRS now says, no. Forget that, $20,600. If you were paid $600 for anything, you have to report it as income. And there are a lot of freelancers I know who are like, oh, no, we've got to find a different way. And some are using crypto. They have been, and now they're going after crypto. So you can't pay somebody in crypto and get away with it. Pay them over $600 in crypto. It's not going to happen. Well, it's been a wonderful show today. I've enjoyed so much being here. Despite my light problem that I'm going to fix now, I'm going to work on our Discord server and see if we can get live chat going, which would be very interesting. Voice chat, party chat. I don't know how to secure it, though. That's going to be an issue. Friends, you know what to do. They're not going to say anything. But people who want to cause havoc and trouble, how do you get them? I guess you would have to kick them off the server, which is fine. I am my own moderator with the help, as you can see, from the Boles bot, which is Streamlabs cloud bot in disguise. If you have any questions for me, you can email me, david@boles.tv. On Twitter, super follow, it's available now. David Boles. On Facebook, BOLES. On Instagram, we are Boles Books. On TikTok, Boles TV. And here, just for the fun of it, is our Discord server if you want to go and check us out and say hi and find out what all the fuss is about. There's a link. And somehow when you enable chat, link, Discord, somehow invites get blocked or paused until you're done streaming. I don't know much about it, but I'm going to find out. So until tomorrow, I wish you a happy day. Have a good nap, a good rest. Take some time for yourself. And may your soul be filled with joy and tenderness. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for being here, Gordon. I appreciate it.